In 2008, three complete strangers were put together with the hopes of creating the greatest Sony podcast ever heard. Today, unable to stop podcasting, the show survives as connoisseurs of dick and fart jokes. If you need Sony news, are not deaf, and don't want to die of boredom, maybe you can listen to BigRedBarel Blu.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 12 of the Big Red Barrel PlayStation Podcast, a.k.a. The Blue Show. Joining you from Eugene, Oregon, I am Rothbart, and we have a little treat for you tonight. It's been like 4 years since episode 5 of the old show, which, just to give you a reference, this is episode 182 if we kept going. We've got Dave.
That's right. Fralls' herpes started acting up again, so his mouth got swollen shut, so he couldn't make it tonight. So here I am.
Oh, snap.
Oh, burn. It's good to have the guy who actually makes the show sound like we're at least sort of professional. Because Dave is the one who edits this all together every week and tactfully removes the worst of what we do.
But if you tally up the numbers, he's like a landslide the number one source of death threats for the show. So,
oh yeah,
I mean, no comparison.
Well, you guys don't respond to anything else. I could go, hey guys, what's up? You know, you were doing it a little long this week, or hey, this topic was a little taboo. But if I send you something that says, hey, look, dumb you f***ed up, and if you keep f***ing up, I'm going to come to your house, I'm going to f***ing kill you. Then it tends to change.
Well, I got to admit, fear of a Texan is a good motivator.
I think he just likes to bleep himself. Think about that.
Bleep, bleep.
Well, during the first 20 episodes of the show, you guys never cussed. And then apparently, at one point, Pac-Man realized he could cuss.
Yeah.
And then he started cussing. Like when Pac-Man gets on a rant, he'll say f*** like 12 times in a sentence.
I have heard it.
I am a fan of f***ing.
God. I think you're getting off track. So, Dave, how is it going? What have you been up to these days? Do you do any other podcasts?
Oh, you know, I do the Flick Show. I was on the Boom Show yesterday.
Wait, what was the name of that show?
The Big Red Flicks.
That's an L and an I. I always read that as F-U-X. I didn't realize it was an L and an I.
Well, we do that, too. We don't do it to each other, but we do that.
Okay. Innuendo. Got it. And what other show were you on? You were on Boom?
Yeah, I was on Boom yesterday.
Boom. I said boom.
Boom.
Also, very fine podcasts.
I said boom.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, as interesting as that was, they all pale in comparison to the Blue Show, I'm sure.
I know.
I don't know. I suppose we'll find out here in the next 50 minutes.
All right. Also joining us, we have Pac-Man. Pac-Man, what is up in Canada? The entire country of Canada right now. Go.
The entire country of Canada right now, go. We're all just sort of getting ready for, I don't know, basically all the good stuff that comes now that it's warm enough to go outside again. So it means, you know, my number of people to game with is going to drop a little bit now that it's warm. But that's okay, because there's enough shut-ins that I will always have friends to play with.
Now, how does that relate to Obama's stance on gay marriage or same-sex marriage?
It means most of us took time out of our day to clap for something that, you know, any rational person would have done years ago. But it was a good moment. It was a good moment. And the best thing is, a fan of ours, Tracy Tram, sent me a setup so I could have a new router so I could get my internet back together. And he has since also hooked me up with Diablo 3, which isn't a PS3 game, but I just want to acknowledge on the show that was super, super, super awesome. And his email was really simple. He said, I know you're having financial difficulties right now. You're not gaming the way you want to. I've had a string of success lately, and I've always listened to your show, so here is a thank you. And that's all he said. And I just want to say thank you. That was super, super crazy awesome. And I am planning on picking up Starhawk. I haven't had a chance to actually play the retail version. I will be playing this Saturday, though, and all weekend, and probably for the foreseeable future. But I mean, almost everyone's been playing the beta with me at some point over the last, I don't even know, like 4 months. Starhawk has been out, so I'm really, 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 really excited to play that this weekend. And you know, if you read the reviews, it kind of explains who was a fan of Warhawk and who wasn't. Because if you look at the list of reviews that came out, you got IGN sitting there at 90 at the top, and then you got like Machinima sitting at like 60 or something at the bottom.
They're all bastards there.
And most of the reviews are just really fucked up. You know, this is one of those situations where it proves that Metacritic is dumb.
I had 2 crashes in the first 30-40 minutes.
Huh. I played for an hour today. Didn't crash once.
You lie. Maybe I...
No, it totally happened. My team did get, like, reamed in the butthole because we got pinned into our location by the other team, which had those little tanks. So they tanked and turreted us in, so we couldn't do anything.
I had some fun. I played a couple levels of the campaign just to see how it was. It's like playing staged bot matches, basically. The campaign is so far not very rich, but it was entertaining. But the multiplayer was very fun. I was surprised they sprinkled the trophies on a little heavy at the beginning. I played for a couple hours and got like 9 or 10 trophies right off the bat, doing normal stuff.
It makes people feel like they're progressing quickly.
You could tell that they were attaboys. That's all they were. But anyway, I had fun. I seemed to play the same level over and over and over, so I have only seen one level of the retail game.
But I mean,
really?
When you hear about people say that, you know, the single player campaign, I mean, it is their first attempt at a single player campaign, but it really, most people are saying, you know, it's basically like a tutorial with a story.
Yeah, it's just meant to get you there, get you where you need to be. It introduces everything sort of, you know, one by one. It's like, okay, now you can fly. Okay, now you can have missiles.
Well, which is practical, because a really condensed tutorial wouldn't be enough for a game like Warhawk. I was about to call it Warhawk Starhawk. Just because if you just dive into the multiplayer, it does take you a bit to sort of figure out the flow and how to do everything and what what's best to run for, what buildings are the best to build, where to do stuff. So I'm kind of curious how that'll change how I play the game once I go through the single player campaign, because I've just been playing the beta multiplayer for the longest time.
Yeah. Well, you know, you get trophies for going through it, and then and it's really nice, because I wrote an article a long time ago about how Warhawk needed training wheels, and everybody's like, oh, you're just a pussy, you don't know how to play. And I'm like,
true story.
I just jump into the multiplayer and get my ass kicked because, you know, I don't know how to use everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully this will keep the barrier to lower for new players jumping into the game. Because Warhawk, after it was out for a little while, was pretty brutal to jump in as a newbie. And wait, Starhawk doesn't give a shit.
This is
but
true.
You need to buy that. You need to buy that game.
Yep. Go out and buy it now. We'll wait.
I asked the Twitter folks, I'm like, so, what do you guys think of Starhawk? And someone goes, well, Starhawk doesn't give a shit. I'm like, what? I do. That's why I asked.
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes I forget that people don't get what we're referencing. Go look up the honey badger on YouTube and how the honey badger doesn't give a shit. We've adopted that ethos to Starhawk. I'm not even sure if ethos is the right word, but whatever.
Works for me.
May. It's a meme.
May. Boom. All right. We should get to this agenda, which is almost 2 full pages because we didn't record last week. So, let's see. I guess it's time for me to pare down the crap in this agenda. Who made this thing?
That would be
Some
you.
old guy.
Twice.
Oh, well, then it's all perfect. Let's read it all. God of War Ascension. The story premise is 6 months after being tricked into killing his wife and child, a younger Kratos is sentenced to a life of madness with the Furies, caged in a Titan-sized prison for the living damned. God.
He just can never catch a break.
No, it's always a hardship.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the first details. This was a lot more timely when I wrote the agenda initially, but the multiplayer, ironically, does not feature Kratos. It features Kratos-like people, and it offers 4 versus 4 arena battles, and you pledge your allegiance to one of 4 gods: Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, or Ares. and your special powers and bonuses get dictated on that. I got to ask you guys. I mean, you both play the God of War games. Playing a God of War game, knowing that you cannot play multiplayer as the guy that you've played in numerous other games, is that almost a deal breaker?
Well, I mean, you come to the problem where everyone would want to be Kratos, so then you just have multiplayer matches where it's Kratos versus Kratos, which would be lame.
Suck it. Somebody should get to play as Kratos. I would rather one guy get to play as Kratos and, even rotate versus nobody getting to play.
Maybe they could have put a match in where Kratos was actually the boss fight at the end, because these multiplayer matches do have boss fights. So maybe he could be a boss, but I don't know. I mean, I was a little worried, but the screenshots and some of the stuff that's leaked about how the characters will actually look, I mean, they do look pretty badass. I mean, they do look very Kratos-esque.
But Dave, are you concerned that you can play as Kratos in PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, but not God of War Ascension multiplayer?
See, I have a simple fix for this. Just let the people play as gods. And if you pick at the beginning of the match, if somebody picks Kratos, you get to be Zeus or one of the other gods, and then you get to have your fun. You all get cool little nifty powers, as per your god of your choosing, and everybody's happy, because then, eventually you'll get to play as Kratos. But, or even better, do it like Star Wars Battlefront 2, where if you kick enough ass, you can turn into Kratos for 2 minutes and just run around and go sick all over everybody.
That would be cool. I was curious how they were going to do multiplayer, though.
I don't know.
Was it going to be like a fighting game or like a what? But it now it looks like more of a third-person action survival mode.
Yeah, it's co-op survival mode. You have to work together, but you can kick a little ass amongst each other for a while.
Yeah, and then I've the thing where you apparently fight for the affections of a giant cyclops, sort of.
The affections?
Well, I don't know. You fight to control these little points where you can sort of pull the cyclops over to your side of the map, and then he smashes the enemy or something, and eventually you have to pluck out his eye, and I don't know.
I'm having a hard time feeling it. I don't know. Maybe it's
I mean, it's one of those things where when Uncharted 2 said they were going to have multiplayer, we were all already going to get Uncharted 2 for the single player. I mean, it was a done deal. So finding out that they added multiplayer was like a nice bonus, and the fact that they did it well was awesome. So if the next God of War, I'm buying it for the single player. But if they do multiplayer and it's awesome, I mean, that's pretty. That's win-win. Same thing with Mass Effect 3. I mean, I didn't expect their multiplayer to be very good, and it was. It's just the style. It's just that God of War is an action, like a third-person action combat game instead of a third-person shooter that makes the multiplayer a little weird.
I think it would have been better if they would have gone co-op like Mass Effect did instead of making it versus.
I can't imagine trying to account for single-player co-op mayhem on the scale that those games have elevated themselves to. I mean, they're pushing the processor with God of War 3. I can't imagine. I mean, how would you even do that locally? Would you do split screen? Would you do online only co-op? I mean,
if PlayStation Royale Battle All-Stars Extravaganza Alpha Turbo Super Edition can do it.
They're doing a Smash Brothers all-in-one screen type game. How would you play 4 players? Like, imagine God of War 3, and then all 4 of you playing on the same screen, wanting to do battle from different sides of different parts of the level. It just gets messy real quick.
Well, simple. You just make it not a very big level. You just make it sort of like an arena thing where you have to, fight off hordes of zombies, and then next you have to fight off.
Oh, so you're keeping it like an arena co-op. I'm talking about if they wanted to take co-op to the campaign as opposed to just a co-op arena battle thing.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. All right. I'm bummed with this topic. Let's move on. Black Ops 2 trailer. We have not talked about that.
Woohoo!
Man, Black Ops 2.
You guys excited?
I'm excited. I'm hoping that all of those robots aren't in my multiplayer. Well, the thing is, okay, I loved Black Ops 1. It was awesome. In my opinion, and a bunch of people don't agree with me for some reason, but I think Black Ops was the best Call of Duty game. And then they come out with 3, and I can't play 3. And Modern Warfare 3, that upsets me, because I keep going back, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to play it. It's going to be okay. And then I play it. I'm like, this game. And then I go back and play Black Ops. And that's never happened before, where I'm like, you know what, I'd rather go play the previous iteration.
You know, I think they have drugs for that. You can get a prescription.
Do they?
Yep. And then it will never happen again.
But I don't know. I watched the their Big Bang trailer, and there's lots of explosions and stuff, but it just screamed, generic sci-fi shooter for the millionth time.
Don't do it.
And the other thing is despite all the explosions and stuff that you're looking at, compared to some of the big, really polished, visual feasts that we're starting to get, it didn't really look that good. I mean, it had lots of stuff going on and lots of cool little things, but the visual fidelity of the new Black Ops isn't exactly pushing the bar. It looks like they're just like, oh, we can't do modern combat anymore. We got to get futuristic with our shit. And a whole bunch of people already beat you to that punch.
My opinion is that it looked cool, but I won't play it.
Yeah. I kind of wish they would have stayed in like the 70s and 80s, because I really dug the fact that it was in the 70s. That was the cool thing about Black Ops. And, because you've had your World War II, you had your modern day, but this is like, it's kind of old school, but, it's still current enough to where some of the guns are still around. And that was pretty awesome. And then this one, it's like, okay, we're going to have flashbacks to the 80s, but it's basically going to take place in the future. And like I said before, I do not want giant robots in my multiplayer. I just want to fight and kill people.
Well, there's an interesting tidbit. Apparently, there's a memorandum inside. Was it Activision? Who's behind this? Is it Activision?
Treyarch is the developer.
No. I mean, who's the publisher?
Activision.
Okay, so there's a memo that Infinity Ward had. I forget what they call it, a memorandum of agreement or something. Activision and Infinity Ward saying that Infinity Ward would be the only developer to develop any modern or Call of Duty game set post-Vietnam. So Treyarch, if that memorandum is held up legally, Treyarch would not be allowed to release Black Ops 2 because it's a futuristic Modern Warfare game or Call of Duty game.
But there is no Infinity Ward anymore.
Well, there still is Infinity Ward there, but it's not the same Infinity Ward, and the people that drafted that are no longer there. But I was reading an article to where they're still having to investigate this, and what it means is not that Black Ops 2 won't come out. What it means is somebody will get paid, basically.
I'm still hoping that was all Flash, and maybe like the first mission and the last mission take place in the future, but the rest of it's all taking place in like the 80s, and they're just going to pull the rug right out from underneath you. I'm hoping that's what it is.
Well, the other thing is, it's kind of hard not to just auto-criticize Call of Duty, just because we all have Call of Duty fatigue. Even the big fans.
I don't.
I still love Black Ops. I play it almost every week now.
Ugh. I mean, every game. The last 3 Call of Duties, I beat everything in a single player campaign, maybe Prestige once in multiplayer, and then I never pick them up again.
You know what I find interesting?
What'd you find interesting?
Changing the topic.
Oh!
That's my smooth segue. Here's something I wanted to talk about related to Starhawk that I did not actually see happen yet, so maybe it's not happening timely. But the people that were in the beta and that buy the actual game, they're supposed to receive some free gifts. The first being the Hand of the Founder, and that's a gold flowing atom-looking emblem that is bound to your hand, your right hand, to show off that you were one of Starhawk's founders. And if you also played Warhawk, you'll get the Warhawk paint set, which is 2 exclusive vehicle paint schemes. Now, when I looked last night to customize mine, I didn't have any of this stuff. So I don't know if they're just slow to roll that out or if I got screwed or what. But be on the lookout for those. And if you see somebody with them and you want to figure out how to get your own, tough, you can't. You had to be in the beta.
Ha!
So.
But I mean, everyone was in the beta. I mean, if you weren't in the Starhawk beta, you either didn't have a PS3 during that time or you were asleep.
Well, I thought it was cool, though, that part of it goes back to as far as you had to play Warhawk. I mean, to get those paint schemes, you had to be a Warhawk player and be in the Starhawk beta.
Well, lots of games do that nowadays. I mean, like Gears of War 3 did that, where it's like, okay, if you played Gears of War 1 and you did this, this, and this, you got like a certain skin for your gun. If you play Gears... Yeah. I was just saying. Or you can go drop like $50 and get like 300 skins for your gun and Gears.
My gun's gold. I paid $20 for it.
Yeah.
All right, well, okay, this is great. So, Lightbox Interactive noted that, when they released Warhawk level packs, it kind of fractured the community because some people had the levels and some people didn't. They'd get into multiplayer groups and, it would cycle to a map they didn't have. And they didn't want to have that with Starhawk. So, this is the first time I can remember this happening. They've announced that all map packs for the game will be free for all players, always.
Holy that is awesome!
Yeah. So you may not have all the modes or whatever else they're going to try to sell us in the DLC, because there is DLC coming, and I'm sure there's going to be paid DLC, but it's not going to be map packs. Just weapon skins. No, I don't know.
Is it going to be like those cheat ones that they put out nowadays, like in Battlefield, where you could pay a certain amount and you didn't have to sit there and unlock all the guns, it would just unlock them automatically?
You can be level 20 for $200. I don't know.
That is awesome though, because I mean that was actually one of the most annoying parts about when we were running Warhawk Gamer Nights back in the day, is we were constantly running into the problem that people didn't have certain map packs. So,
you know who else is having map packs? Max Payne 3, 7 map packs have been announced.
Yeah, get excited.
So if you want to pony up $30 after ponying up your $60 for a total of $90 for the full Max Payne experience, you can get 7 map packs. I don't know what consists of a pack. I would say it would have to at least be 2 maps per pack. So an additional 14 multiplayer packs. And doesn't say what kind of time period that's over, but I would imagine that's got to be over at least 7 months, if not double that. So... But, Pac-Man, are you hyped for Max Payne 3, which is coming out next week?
I am hyped. I don't understand the need for companies to announce this before the game's even out. It's like a backhanded incentive.
There's no incentive. It's a decentive.
it's like I do want Max Payne 3, and if the multiplayer is good, I will grab packs and stuff, but...
Okay, Pac-Man, I hand you $60, and next week you decide Diablo 3 or Max Payne 3. Where's your money going?
Diablo 3.
Yeah, that's what I thought. How many map packs for that are coming out?
I have no idea.
They call them expansions, sir.
Yeah. But I mean, I prefer not to know what extras they have in store until after the game's out, because when you announce extras that I'm going to have to pay for before the game's even out, it makes me think rightly or wrongly that you've been planning for this extra stuff to not be included in your game to get extra cash the whole time, which despite what developers say is actually what they're doing most of the time. I mean, it just feels whereas even if they did plan it beforehand and they should have put it in the game and they didn't, just wait until after the game's out and at least it doesn't sound so bad.
Our vision for the game is a $90 product that lasts for 14 months. That's basically what they're saying.
The whole DLC and everything has just become very corrosive.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Speaking of corrosive DLC, did you know that Naughty Dog has released all the Uncharted 2 DLC for free?
Oh!
All of it's free. Go get it.
That is actually quite a bit of DLC, too.
Yep.
I mean, even though it's for a game that's already got a sequel, but whatever.
Did you know Naughty Dog is losing their Uncharted lead? His last name, I think it's probably French, and I'm going to butcher it, but Le Marchand. He is actually leaving, but get this, he's not going to another game developer. Dude's going to be a professor at the Interactive Media Division at the University of Southern California.
Yep. He's like, screw you guys, I'm going to go get my 9-to-5 paycheck.
That's awesome, though. I mean, that's a noble career change, I think.
Not only that, but if you're one of the kids in that class, it's like, yeah, I don't have some guy who worked on some game in the 80s
I'm
or some
going
shit.
to Uncharted
This guy
class.
came from Naughty Dog.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be getting lessons from a guy who did, like Gauntlet back in, 1988, Although I would like to learn.
Back when I made Pong, you kids just don't even know.
Do you guys like it when executives talk shit?
I do.
Well, our buddy Peter Moore, who's been at Electronic Arts, EA, for a while, he has a great quote. He chimed in on the reason that retail game sales is still dominating over digital game sales, and he basically credits Sony. He was interviewed for Ed Gamasutra. He said, and I quote, "A lot of our customers don't own credit cards. A lot of our customers are still afraid of what happened to the PlayStation Network when 77 million accounts were accessed by Anonymous in 2011. Damn hackers. Sony is the reason you buy physical discs."
But at the same time, he is ignoring that every single year...
ignoring everything.
digital sales goes up dramatically, and has for like the last 7. And in the end, the only credit cards that got damaged by the PlayStation Network getting down were old credit cards. And I think, to my knowledge, no individual customer actually lost any money.
And that wasn't the PlayStation Network. That was the Sony Online stuff over their MMO stuff, I thought. I don't know. It's so long ago.
You're right. That wasn't even directly with the anonymous hack. That was something else.
But
I mean, he is sort of right. I'm sure people were a little more sensitive after that PSN went down. Like, I don't leave my credit
but people
card
marry their first cousins in like 15 states too. People are stupid. You can't pick somebody and point out their logic and say that's why this is this way. That's not the case all the time. I mean, proof in point, I was pissed I couldn't buy Starhawk digitally this week.
So was I.
I know. I heard about that. I'm like, did you buy Starhawk? He's like, this is why I want to buy it right now, and this is why I want to wait. I'm like, dude, just go buy it.
It pisses me off because I am a grown-ass man, and if I want to pay and be lazy and not have to get up and put in a disc, I should be able to do that. I'm not wanting to pirate the game. I'm not wanting to, I can't resell it. So all these people wanting to end use game sales, I'd be helping you out. Just let me buy the damn game.
Do you have a problem paying full price for a digitally downloaded game on day one?
No, I did it with Infamous 2. Well, week 1. I don't think it was released day and date, but it was the same week. I bought Infamous 2, never looked back, and loved it.
Yep, same.
So you don't think you should get some sort of discount for them not having to disc it and send it to the store?
Oh, I do, but I'm willing to forgo that just to get it day and date. I mean, if you're going to take out pressing discs and take out shipping discs and take out having to pay somebody to put it on their store shelf and have the retailer get their cut, if you're cutting all of that out and all of that is just profit in your pocket, I do think, toss me a $5 discount, but I would still pay full price.
Because not having to use a disc is almost worth $5.
It's a convenience. If you said, would you like to pay $5 and never have to get up and put in a disc, I'd be paying $5. So... Anyway, I'm done bitching about that. I'll wait till next show to bitch about it again. When they release it digitally, and I'll be like, F you, I bought it on disc last week. Bastards.
To be fair, though, I originally had Warhawk on disc, and I ended up getting it digitally anyway.
You're the reason, Pac-Man.
But to be fair, that was pretty much the only disc I ever lost, so...
But dude, you love to buy things over and over again. We know this. Yeah. History proves it.
Oh, you know what? I gotta tell you, you bring that up, Dave. Guess who owns 2 PSPs now?
Who?
This guy.
Why do you have 2 PSPs?
I didn't buy it. A friend of mine was like, I was gonna give this away. Do one of your kids want it? And I said, I'll see, and if not, I'll give it away. And so I showed it to my kids, and they're like, cool, and then walked away.
You could have sent Pac-Man that PSV.
He's due, isn't he? He consumes them. It's about time.
Yeah, I got my PSV. Pretty awesome.
Speaking of PSVs and things that Pac-Man consumes, did you know that Sony gave everybody with a PSV 60 minutes on Skype?
Man, I use Skype. I would use that.
Free minutes. I don't know what that's worth in real world money, but that's like, I'm rich in Skype minutes.
I don't even know, because I know you can buy like unlimited long distance calls for like $3, so I don't know how exactly that would work.
I got like a dime.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sony. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Pac-Man, pre-order your... Where are you going to buy your PSV from?
Hot dog vendor.
I'll probably buy it from GameStop or EB Games.
Oh, gotcha. I would suggest going to Best Buy. And here's why. Because I went online and bought mine, and then I went to the store to pay, and then I did in-store pickup. I went to pick it up. I paid for the Wi-Fi version. I came home with a 3G bundle.
Nice.
Because they're stupid.
He's a goddamn criminal.
I'm not a criminal. They handed me the box. They had it up at the counter. I was like, yeah, I'm here to pick up my order. They handed me the box. I walked home. I got home with it, and then I'm like, why are all these AT&T flyers in my game? Oh, awesome.
Man.
All right. So, you know what? they've sold 1.8 million Vitas. It would be higher if Pac-Man was on his game, but he's not. And so this thing's launched in February 22nd, I think here. They claim that by the end of March 2013, they plan to have sold 16 million. So 9 times more than they've already sold. So that means that they must think that things are going to accelerate pretty soon when some games start getting released. But I don't know. They got to release something.
Need that Monster Hunter.
The only thing
they need Japan, Monster Hunter. They need a Gran Turismo to come out.
Oh yeah, in 2020?
Man, hell, they could make money just adding a polished add-on for the Gran Turismo that's out for the PSP, and you just play it on your PSV, and it has some extra little thing, and people would buy it. Like Gran Turismo Prologue is one of the best-selling titles on the PS3. I mean, it's ridiculous.
They'll have a prologue for the Vita. You wait.
I think they need to do like the DS and give you an extra thumbstick.
3 of them?
Yeah. One that goes down at the bottom so you can steer with your penis.
Nice.
It plugs right into the power plug.
All right, so Pac-Man, when you get it, if you get it anytime soon, you need to go to lbpvitabeta.us.playstation.com because that's the longest web address ever, and register to be in the Little Big Planet Vita beta.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know when that's happening, but it's a thing that's happening at some point in the future, and somebody that applies is going to get in. It could be you. And you could use your reach around touch maneuver.
But it probably won't be because you're unlucky. People steal your food.
That's true. So.
Yeah, I mean, to this day, that's still one of the things that actually angers me the most. Because I can understand certain types of thievery, but you steal something from someone's fridge. Really?
Oh,
It could have been worse. They could have on a plate and left that in your refrigerator.
Oh, I'm totally doing that next time.
Oh yeah, that would be worse.
All right, we got some rumors. Wow, I wrote the first rumor I wrote last week is now been confirmed.
The rumors.
That sounded vaguely familiar.
Yeah. What is best in life? To crush your enemies, to see them tremble before you, and to talk about the rumors. Sorry, I'm doing my best here, people.
This was a rumor. We now know it's confirmed. Microsoft, in their own Microsoft stores, has released a $99 4GB Xbox 360 Connect bundle with a 2-year, $15 a month contract for those people that have very little money up front but want to pay more money in the long run. So,
yeah, I don't really understand this because apparently it's $15 a month for Xbox Live. Yep. Even if you pay the full price for the card or like a year subscription, it's not $15. I think you can get a month for about $4 if you buy it from from Microsoft themselves. I don't understand why it's $15.99.
Because they're subsidizing the rest of the cost of the $300 bundle. They're working that extra $200 you're not paying up front over the next 2 years, and then some, and then some more.
Well, yeah, but that sucks.
Yep.
Yeah. Word to the wise: don't buy stuff you can't afford.
Oh, true that.
I have a lot of financial trouble myself, but I have very, 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 very little on a credit card. And it's a good way to go. Better to just save up the hard cash than to start putting stuff on credit cards, especially frivolous stuff like video games. Like, that should never be on a credit card.
Why didn't you tell me this years ago?
Because years ago, I was like, man, I got credit cards. Cash advance. It's cash advance.
Payday loans. I'll get a payday loan, pay off my credit card.
More money.
Cash advance is evil. Evil.
Have you seen those? God, they're borderline racist commercials for the payday loan. Well, they're not even the payday loan. There's one with this Native American woman.
Oh, it's like Western Sky Loans or something like that?
Yeah, that's the one. You look at the fine print, and it's like 125% payback. And I was like, so does that mean you pay back what you loan or what you borrowed plus 25%? And I was like, no, that's where you pay back what you loan plus another what you loan plus another 25%. I was like, damn.
Yeah. Well, back when they had the dude that did it, he was like very cold.
Yeah,
and he was very Native American looking, and they had like the drums in the background. Do, 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 do. But he's like, it's cheap. He's like, it's not cheap, but it's less expensive than a payday loan. And I'm like, what?
I was very uncomfortable watching those commercials.
Yeah, they are. They do want to get you across that it's a 100% Native American-owned business.
And then they've got Montel Williams on there talking. It's like you got your Native Americans hawking to your Native American poor people, then you got your Montel Williams hawking to the black poor people.
I miss when Gary Coleman used to do it.
He just loaned you a little amount, though.
Man, I feel bad. My very first job ever was hawking credit cards with really, really high interest rates with really, really, really low actual dollar amounts attached to the card. So I'd give someone a credit card that could give them maybe $100 or $200 on the card, and I'd charge them like 22% interest, and you have to pay $50 to turn on the card, and there was all these minimums you had to meet, and I would be selling these cards to people who I already knew had 2 or 3 credit cards already. It was pretty horrible.
My favorite's the one where they give you the high annual fee, but they're like, we'll just put that on your card right to go. And it's like you walk out the door with a card and you already owe $70. It's like, I didn't buy a damn thing.
God. Better pay it back.
But I got to pay it back. It is going to pay a lot more, or cost a lot more than $70. All right, let's get to the other rumors. I feel like we talked about this when Sony is rumored to be planning. Did we cover this? A new tier subscription for PlayStation Plus. Apparently, there's been surveys going out that asking people what they'd be willing to pay for a service if it already included something like Call of Duty Elite, free Blu-ray games, discounts on purchases, or various frequencies of service updates.
Oh snap! Are we about to get PlayStation Plus Gold and PlayStation Plus Platinum?
We're going to get Microsoft from Sony. They're like, these guys have been doing it for 5 years and making money. We need to do it too because we posted a bajillion dollar loss this year.
I'm better than you because I paid more for my PS Plus.
Sony has given out better free games than Microsoft has.
This is true, and multiplayer's never been held hostage.
Yeah,
I don't know. I could see it.
I mean, as long as it never comes to the point where Microsoft did, where you're actually limited in the core capacities of games by the online service. I mean, it's all gravy. And
if they add things to warrant those fees instead of taking away free stuff and saying, now you got to pay for this.
Yeah. Don't force me to pay for Netflix and Last.fm and a whole bunch of other shit that I will never use on a console.
So if it's Fitty Bones, how much is the next stage going to cost?
Half a testicle.
Yep, with some hair.
Is it like your liver? Will it grow back?
That depends on your trophy level.
Yeah, you have to inject frog DNA into your nuts, and then some sort of Jurassic Park type situation will happen. I don't know.
Okay, Pac-Man, I got a rumor that's going to piss you off. Sega may have canceled Bayonetta 2.
What? Why? Why would you do that?
To mess with you.
Because they're making toiletry games.
Well, the funny thing is, we skipped it earlier in the agenda, but what they are making is they're making urinal games for bars and pubs and other stuff like that, where you play a 1-minute game, sometimes at a cost, by pissing into a target in a urinal. But they're going to cancel Bayonetta 2.
You know what game I like to play when I go into a bar bathroom? It's Please God Don't Let There Be an Attendant in This One. I hate the attendant in the bathroom. I hate it. It's like, dude, I don't want to tip you. I can get my own soap and my own paper towels.
You can shake on your own.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. We've heard it for the Vita. Now it's the Wii U's turn. Rumors are saying that the Android OS will run on the Wii U screen controller doodad thingy.
Well, that's all fine and well, but who's going to use it? Nobody's buying.
Pac-Man's going to have 3.
Hell no. I gave up on Nintendo a long time ago.
All right.
All the Android OS in the world.
I really don't care. Yeah.
Won't help.
I've asked people on Twitter a couple times, does anybody care? No, nobody cares. Nobody's like, oh yeah, Wii U, I'm getting it. Nobody says that. Like, Nintendo shot their load. They got the Wii and they got all the stupid, people who didn't know any better to buy it and then never use it. So they got their money. They're done. It was time for them to put out a new console, and they're not doing that.
Dave, I'm in line right now.
You're in line right now to get your Wii U?
Yep.
Are you in line to get your Wii U or in line to have somebody Wii on you?
Let me check the line. Hold on. I'm not sure they're different. They're the same line.
Excuse me, is this a line to get peed on? Because I don't want to be here.
All right. We got a rumor smash. Can you do that too?
Yeah. Rumor smash!
Oh,
is that good enough?
That was good enough. Crytek said, Time Splitters 4? Oh, yeah, that's not happening.
Good.
That series is still around?
Apparently not. All right. Sony is apparently very interested in Edmund McMillan's indie title, The Binding of Isaac, for release on PSN. You may remember that from the gaming news when Nintendo said, yeah, we're not releasing that on the 3DS eShop. The game is, quote, a deep and dark title that explores the mature topic of child abuse.
It's a really good game.
It's on Steam. That's the only place you can get it right now. So apparently Sony's trying to lock it down for console release.
Finally, a game that reaches out to those gamers that like to sit in playground parking lots with boxes of chocolates in their van. Finally.
It's not Pedal Bear Adventure.
It's child abuse, though.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be sexual abuse. You can just beat on a kid.
It doesn't say it's not sexual abuse.
Once again, you're right, Dave. It could be sexual abuse of children. Why are you always right about that?
Hey, Nintendo said no.
Well, it's messed up that it's called The Binding of Isaac. I actually bought that game just because it had his name. My little brother's name is Isaac, so I got him The Binding of Isaac. And he's like, he played it, and he's like, that's kind of up, dude.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of racist that your brother's name is Isaac and you wanted a game about binding him? As in putting him into slavery?
Yeah, it is kind of racist.
Was your brother on the Love Boat?
I don't know. I don't keep tabs on him like that.
Every time that just put that Family Guy thing in my head. It's like, hey, remember when Abraham killed Isaac? And then they show Abraham Lincoln on the Love Boat, and Isaac's like, hey, and then Abe Lincoln shoots him.
Yeah.
All right. The last one is really one to ponder. Probably should have made it our bonus topic since we don't have one yet, but we will by the time we get to record it. Sony is said to be revealing, and I quote, 20 new games at this year's E3 conference.
Woohoo!
Wow.
Is it 20 games that we haven't seen stuff on yet?
I don't know, and I don't know if they're counting game on PS3 as one game and that same game on the Vita as another game. I have no idea. But what they did say is we're not announcing a new home console this year. So PlayStation 4, unless they're just lying to us outright, these should be...
Are they going to announce that they're getting rid of home?
Is that a game?
Man, they keep adding stuff to home.
They do. I mean, you have to give them... They're tenacious. You have to give them that. They have not given up on it. So
I think they've come out with more stuff for home than they have the Move.
It's probably true.
And that makes my Move controller very sad.
Well, you know, Sorcery's coming out. This month, even.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 3 years in the making, folks. Sorcery.
It could
But no
be...
one was expecting to hear PS3 this year. No one rational was
You mean
thinking
PS4?
we were going to get the new Xbox 720 or the new PS4. I mean, it's going to be more Vita stuff. It's going to be the Wii U.
Unified console. They're all joining forces this year. Didn't you get the memo?
Ugh.
Yes, they all turn into Voltron if you put your Wii U on your 360 and you stack that on top of your PS3.
I must have missed that announcement underneath all the emails for new iOS and tablet games. And you know what we do need though, game wise, is we need
more Vita games.
We need more tower defense games. There just simply aren't enough tower defense games. We need more of them.
I was thinking we need more same-sex marriage simulators.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I had that, I wouldn't need to go on Facebook.
Do they have same-sex marriage simulators on Facebook?
I don't know. If I go to Facebook and read for an hour, it seems like I've read nothing but people talking for and against same-sex marriage and talking about how so-and-so is stupid for protesting it and so-and-so should be praised for supporting it. And it's like, this is Facebook.
This is Twitter.
I mean, come on. What other... somebody famous needs to die. Change the topic or something. I mean, come on.
Dude, MCA died, man. Respect.
Yeah, but that was last week.
I know, but, it kind of... that's what Obama did. He's trying to stand up MCA.
Oh,
Now, f*** it. I no longer care about President Obama because he's all like, hey, MCA just passed away. I need to get people's mind off of it. What can I talk about? Gay marriage.
But did you see him slow jam the news on Jimmy Fallon? Obama was on Jimmy Fallon. He did it, and at the end, he dropped the mic. How can I not respect that?
He dropped the mic.
He dropped the mic, and Jimmy Fallon busted up. It was hilarious.
Jimmy Fallon laughed during something going on? Say it ain't so.
Yeah. He's not very talented in that area.
I still want to punch him for what he did to the cowbell skit. He's in the background laughing, and nothing funny's happening.
All right, so are you going to make any death threats, or should we keep recording with no more agenda left?
I think you should have to show up, because we got the bonus content.
Now, your job was to bring the bonus content topic tonight.
Did it say that in the agenda?
It will in just a minute.
I was like, let me scroll down here. It says, there's no bonus topic at the moment. We'll wing it!
That sounds like a plan, Dave. Go.
But we haven't closed down the show yet.
All right. So I guess we will see you guys next week for... Now, is it unlucky in podcasts to have an episode 13, or is it like elevators? Do you skip from 12 to 14?
Well, we had an episode 13 last time, and it seemed to work out.
We'll just call it 183 next week, and then we'll go to 14 the next week.
Hi.
All right, guys. We will see you next week. I don't even know what I was just going to say, but you should go buy the podcast app unless you live in another country, in which case, screw you. You can't get it. But if you live in the U.S.
I think it's available in Britain, isn't it?
I heard some people complaining that since it was not on the Google Play Store and they had to go to the Amazon Android Marketplace, that was locked to the U.S., and I don't know if Amazon's got... I'm sure Amazon has their own store over there, but I haven't gone to look to see if it's there.
Amazon.co.uk, I believe.
Well, we should check and see if our podcast app is there. Search for Big Red Barrel or the name of the old site, and you should find it. It should be $2.99 or some other currency that I
think it's like $1 or £1.49 or something like that.
1 pound of chocolate. And then if you have an iOS device, you can get it on the iTunes Marketplace for $29.99 if you want to buy a 10-pack. So we will see you guys in the bonus topic. Hasta la vista.
See ya.
Steve Ross here, everybody.
You and your ears are quite welcome for the podcasting goodness that you just heard. Why not roll on over to BigRedBarel.com for more podcast, news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, BigRedBarel.com.